Our planet is indeed a vast place with enormous mountains and vast oceans, but in the grand scheme of the universe, we're just another rocky planet. The universe is constantly trying to remind us of our place by throwing millions of asteroids and comets our way, and now it seems something big might be making its way to us as we speak. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson just revealed that a massive asteroid is headed toward Earth. But the question is, how big is this asteroid, and what will happen if it makes an impact on the Earth? The Earth is no stranger to asteroids and has been bombarded by trillions of them over its 4.5 billion year existence. In fact, the Earth is impacted with over 17,000 of these objects every year. Although most of them are so small they burn up in the atmosphere and don't make landfall. Astronomers have dedicated telescopes and satellites to track as many of these objects as they can, but considering our galaxy is filled with an almost infinite number of these rocky objects, it is almost impossible to track them all. But there is one asteroid that scientists have been monitoring and will certainly have devastating effects if it were to make an impact on the Earth. Meet Apophis, named after the Egyptian god of darkness and chaos. Apophis was labeled a potentially hazardous asteroid with a diameter of 450 meters and was believed to be on a collision course with the Earth, with projections having that it would impact the Earth on April 13, 2029. With its sheer size, if Apophis were to impact the Earth, it would land with a kinetic energy equivalent to over 1,200 megatons of TNT. The effect of this kind of impact would level much of the United States if it were to make landfall in North America. For comparison, the asteroid that caused the extinction event that wiped out the dinosaurs measured about 10 kilometers in diameter and resulted in a crater estimated to be about 118 miles in diameter and over 12 miles deep. The Chicxulub asteroid, which landed over 65 million years ago, impacted with an energy of over 100 million megatons of TNT. The impact created winds that moved at speeds of over 1,000 kilometers per hour, sending out a cloud of ash and dust into the sky, covering an entire continent in a few hours. Although Apophis is much smaller compared to the Chicxulub asteroid, it would have a similar effect and would be just as devastating considering the density of the human population in today's world. The effects of an impact would vary depending on the composition of the asteroid, the angle of impact, and the location where the asteroid makes landfall. Regardless of all these points, Apophis would have a devastating effect either on land or in the sea. Upon further, scientists were able to track the trajectory of the asteroid and determine where exactly on the planet's surface it would make an impact, all in an effort to develop deflection strategies. However, a further study into the asteroid's journey through space revealed that the possibility of an impact on Earth during its next close flyby on April 13, 2029 was extremely unlikely. During this flyby, Apophis would pass at a distance of 31,000 kilometers, which is much closer than some geostationary satellites and will be visible to the naked eye in some parts of the world. But thankfully that's all it would do, fly by. But there still remains the possibility of a return impact on the planet. According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, Apophis could pass through a specific region in space known as a gravitational keyhole around our planet. This would change the asteroid's orbit, placing it in a slingshot trajectory back to Earth 7 years later on April 13, 2036. Dr. Tyson stated that if Apophis makes the keyhole, then, on its next time around, the asteroid will hit Earth directly, slamming into the Pacific Ocean between California and Hawaii. The tsunami it creates will wipe out the entire west coast of North America, ferry Hawaii, and devastate all the land masses of the Pacific Rim. If Apophis misses the keyhole in 2029, then, of course, we have nothing to worry about in 2036. The damage from Apophis would exceed $1 trillion, but the casualties would be minimal, as we could predict the time and point of impact. Fortunately, it has been determined that the possibility of Apophis making the keyhole maneuver is highly unlikely, and the asteroid has since been removed from most global watch lists. But scientists are still keeping an eye out for any changes in the asteroid's trajectory, which might be caused by an impact with other moving objects in space. But Apophis is only one of thousands of observed asteroids, with potentially Earth-shattering impacts if they were to enter a collision course with Earth. We've seen other smaller asteroids make impact in recent years, some of which have had destructive effects while others were luckily of no consequence. One such asteroid was the impact above the Russian city of Chelyabinsk on February 15, 2013. The Chelyabinsk asteroid measured around 65 feet in diameter and wasn't detected until it had entered our planet's atmosphere, which did an excellent job of burning it into tiny pieces, reducing the level of impact. The asteroid entered the atmosphere moving at speeds of 12 miles per second, with the atmospheric explosion occurring just 20 miles above the city of Chelyabinsk in Russia. The explosion was so powerful, it measured over 20 times the energy of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. The shockwave from the blast spread out over 50 kilometers, shaking buildings and shattering windows in over 6 Russian cities. The devastation caused injuries to over 1,500 people, mostly as a result of flying glass and other debris dislodged by the shockwave. However destructive the Chelyabinsk asteroid was, there have been other instances of asteroids making it past our inner atmosphere, but causing very minimal damage even when they landed in populated city areas. This was the case of Asteroid 2022 WJ1, which was a tiny asteroid measuring less than a meter in diameter that entered a collision course with Earth. Astronomers were able to detect WJ1 but barely 4 hours before it made landfall over Ontario, Canada. NASA's Scout system was not only able to detect the asteroid's trajectory with Earth, but was also able to calculate where and when it would make impact. The asteroid made it through our upper atmosphere in the early hours of Saturday, November 19, 2022, lighting up the sky just above southern Ontario, Canada. The asteroid lit up the sky with tiny streaks of fiery debris as it burned up in the atmosphere before finally scattering tiny pieces of meteorite over the southern coastline of Lake Ontario. Small asteroids like this are of no serious hazard or damage to Earth, but are important in helping astronomers detect and track such near-Earth objects that can make it past the Earth's atmosphere. While Apophis is still being watched for any potential changes in its trajectory, NASA has decided to do more than just watch the asteroid, but also collect samples to better study its composition and origins. The agency will be repurposing the spacecraft OSIRI-REx, which just successfully retrieved rock samples from the asteroid Bennu, and renaming it OSIRI-APEX to retrieve samples from Apophis on its next flyby in 2029. Removing asteroids like Apophis from the NEO watch list has been nothing but good news, but there's still the question of how prepared we are in the event of an asteroid impact that is 100% certain. There are methods and strategies in place that would be put into motion in the event of an asteroid on a collision course with Earth. Some of these methods include launching missiles to meet the asteroid in space with the objective of either destroying or knocking the object off course and away from its collision path with Earth. NASA has recently had success with one of such projects known as a Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART. The mission was designed to assess how much of an impact a spacecraft would need to collide with an asteroid and how effectively momentum would be transferred upon hitting the asteroid head-on. The agency recently completed a test mission against an asteroid that posed no actual threats and was on no collision course with Earth for the convenience of the test. The DART probe launched from Earth on November 24, 2021, headed for the asteroid named Dimorphos. In October of 2022, NASA revealed that the DART probe had successfully made an impact with the asteroid and shortened its orbital speed by 32 minutes, making the mission a complete success. But while the DART mission was successful in demonstrating our readiness to deflect any future asteroids, it is important to note that rocky asteroids aren't the only objects in space that pose a threat to life on Earth. Our galaxy is filled with objects like apophis and phenomena that could very well send particles of raw energy such as radiation and stellar wind into the solar system and head straight for Earth. Some of the stellar bodies capable of releasing these dangerous amounts of energy are neutron stars, supernovas, and even our very own Sun. Luckily, our planet's magnetic field protects us from direct contact with such high bursts of radioactive energy, but we look forward to seeing how we come up with technology to mitigate some of these events. With agencies like NASA tasked with detecting and tracking near-Earth objects, it is extremely comforting to know that they are scientists and telescopes dedicated to monitoring space for early detection of possible planet-killer-sized asteroids. Do you think Apophis will be the next house-size asteroid to hit Earth, or will it pass by without hitting the Earth? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.